Hello and welcome to the Pour Over Podcast, episode 204. I'm your host, Brad. This is my co-host, Eric.
How's it going?
And on this week's episode, we're going to be making more combat patrols.
Yeah, I think I came up with one that's a bit better than what GW gave us.
I made one that's debatably worse than something GW's given us, but we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
All right, so before we start, a little bit of news up front because it's going to be important. This is not about this week's episode. Next week, we are going to do an ad read. After having the patrons agree to it, it should be quite funny. We've already recorded it. The patrons actually helped write the ad read. If you don't want to listen to the ad read, the audio episode will not include it. There will also be a patron exclusive version of the episode that will not include the ad read, should you hate ads that much. The YouTube version will have the ad read because that's what we're being paid for.
That is quite literally what we're signing a contract to get paid for, yes.
We're also going to be doing a stream to give away keys for the sponsored game. Look, it's Space Marine 2. Shock. They gave us extra keys, so we're going to do a sponsored stream the day next week's episode airs, which should be March 3rd. So if you want to join us on Twitch for that, there you go. I'll give you a 1 week warning instead of like a couple hours warning you'll get when that episode airs.
We also don't plan on making this a common every episode occurrence.
Yeah, this is an exception. We started this a month ago. There is nothing even remotely close to being ad read other than this a month later. Like, this is not every episode or anything. It was one ad that looked like it was going to be a very good one for us to take, and the patrons agreed to it, so I'm good with it. Plus, it's a game that literally 80% of people listening to me talk right now already own.
And I'm pretty sure we've been tagging it on basically all of our videos since it came out on YouTube.
To be fair, Games Workshop is equally at fault. They do it too. It's the proper YouTube etiquette. If you ever do content creation stuff, you're supposed to do like the latest popular game in the series for all of your videos on a IP.
Yeah, it's always kind of funny.
Yeah, if you look at GW's videos, they are Space Marine 2 as well. And when Space Marine 3 becomes an option, we'll all switch over to clicking that one.
I mean, unless Dawn of War comes out and it's like a smash hit, oh my god, everybody bought it.
Yeah, an RTS,
Hey, it could happen. It could be 1998 again.
Anyway, that's the big news stuff. Back to the episode proper now.
All right, we've done this a few times, but, you know, the basic ground rules for building a better combat patrol. Optimally, it has a few different types of units, so it's not literally just one unit.
Yeah, we want variety. We want at least like 4 different types of units in there. Ideally, no named characters either.
We're going to try and shoot for like 500 points, but like, depending on the army, a little bit less, a little bit more. More is better.
500 should be the minimum, but it's very hard to have that work in certain factions when we also try to give a realistic discount that the bean counters would allow you to put into one of these. I think the historical high was 45% discount or something for Genestealer cults in 9th edition.
Yeah.
The average is more like mid 30s to low 30s to now in the 20s because it's getting awfully fucked up over there.
Yeah, more and more recently it's been high 20s, low 30s, but there have been some good ones.
So ideally 500 points. We'd like a centerpiece model. Exception cases exist. A character, a normal battle line unit, variety, the ability to want to buy this multiple times ideally and still get some value out of it. All things to make it a good start to a collection. We don't care at all about how this would be in Combat Patrol, the format, as I have to remind people constantly because we'll always get one commenter because you see we're making the box and the format is bullshit and is made up literally based on what they put in the box. So you balance that part as you go. AOS already proved this can work and can have giant monsters in a small game mode and have it be balanced. They're not even the best things in the box usually in that case.
And we know that Spearhead boxes were designed of here's the models, all right, write the rules around it. So like there's a lot of reasons that like we're not focusing on making Combat Patrol lists here that are balanced for Combat Patrol.
No, you balance Combat Patrol for the boxes.
Right.
Anyway, rant done. Let's start. We've got, I think, 5 different factions this time. We're getting close to all of them. I think next episode we do of this series, we'll have touched every faction if we do, I think, like 6 more.
For this edition. And then we can do the awesome review episode.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that at the start of next edition, and then they'll start releasing new combat patrols, and then we'll milk this series again from scratch.
Hell yeah.
The content farm will never end.
But let's start with Adepta Sororitas.
All right. So for Sisters, this is the one that I pushed the furthest on and got the least out of because I had an idea I wanted to go with.
Okay.
This is a cover art first box. I really wanted this to be a sales pitch box.
All right. I mean, that's fair for Sisters.
So currently, just for what Sisters has right now for their 10th edition one, they've got a Canoness, 10 Sisters, 5 Shield Sisters, I forget what they're called, and 10 Arcoflagellants. My problem with this box is when you look at it from afar, it's a big mess of same looking sisters and some dudes with whip arms over on the side. Nothing really stands out in this box. There's no real flow to it. That's one of my issues with it, just looking at it, is it doesn't feel like a good look at the faction.
It's fine, like, if you already know and, like, kind of have an expectation of what Adepta Sororitas is doing, you look at it and you're like, yeah, it's a bunch of battle sisters, okay. But, like, if you don't really know that much or you're just getting into it, there's nothing that's like, ooh, let me see what that is.
It feels very samey. It doesn't help that the Canoness herself just looks like another battle sister.
Kinda.
Anyway, I wanted a box that would fix this and sales pitch the faction for you from a vertical slice. So, my box has a Canoness with a jump pack and 5 Zephyrim/Seraphim, but Zephyrim because swords are cooler on the box.
Okay, yeah.
So she can lead those, and then we'll do 10 Battle Sisters just to have Battle Sisters represented, your nuns with guns, basic thing. With them, I wanted to add an Imagifier, so you'd have the nice big icon. And then to wrap the box up, I did 2 Mortifiers or Penitent Engines, but I think Mortifiers will look better on the cover art, which is the entire point of this box.
Yeah, you're trying to show just kind of like a bit of everything while being the most exciting of those bits.
Yeah, so I wanted, you've got your Angel Wings, which front and center, you put your Fly Girls as a group. You've got the Mortifiers to be like the creepier parts, put them off to the 2 sides, and then a bunch of nuns in the middle sprinkled around. And I think that shows the faction really nicely, and it's still like a balanced box that you get a lot of value out of getting a second of.
Oh, absolutely. You can use a couple of these without any problem.
The real problem I have with this box is it's $277, which is high on the discount.
That is a bit high. It's not completely unreasonable expectation or ask, but at the same time, it's the price point that, like, you would have to defend it. And it's tough to really defend it for Sisters at the moment. But at the same time, I guess it is also only like 465 points. So, like, that's a defense in and of itself.
Yeah, this didn't even cross over the 500 point threshold. Real awkward. This is definitely like points to dollar ratio, the worst box in the list today.
Probably. We've got the demon one.
The demon one's great. We'll get to the demon one.
Yeah, I guess I forgot how many points some things are. But yeah, I mean, I do like this box as like a good intro that you can buy a couple of them and have a solid start to your army, while also figuring out like which parts you want more of, specifically if you want like more of the angel wing focus or whatever.
I think one of the things I like most with the box is Mortifiers is dual build, Zephyrim is dual build, Sisters can be a Dominion squad as well unless I'm on crack here. And then you get a pair of decent characters. So even if you start losing value on the characters, like your secondary boxes are still pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think the Imagifier builds into anything else.
No, they're both just blister pack characters. But it's a solid box in my opinion. I could have like tried harder for something that would be a better amount of points in the box, but I had this idea for the cover art for a box and being like, that can sales pitch you Sisters.
Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, you did Grey Knights, right? So give us one for Grey Knights.
Yeah, I did. This one's tough. So like we had an amazing combat patrol.
Yes, you did. One of the best combat patrols of 9th edition.
And then we got the current one, and it's like
extremely bad is the word you're looking for.
Well, it's not extremely bad because like it does give you value if you need all of the units, including the named hero.
Yeah, no, named characters already mega points off. It lost so much over the last box from an actual like interest standpoint. No, fuck that box.
There are some problems with Grey Knights though. Part of it is like we don't really have characters that aren't named and aren't just like use a Space Marine one.
Yeah, or the like turn a Terminator into it.
Yeah, so that adds a slight wrinkle, and like that I think is why Crow was used front and center here for the one that we currently have. But yeah, I've got a couple issues. I've got 2 boxes here as ideas, and so like starting off with the first one, I've got a Grandmaster, a Nemesis Dread, a Brotherhood Tech Marine, and 5 of a Strike Squad. So the old old Combat Patrol had strikes and fives, so I know that it can be done. They can package that up in that way and it can be split. So assuming that like we just cut the price in half of, you know, the 10-man unit that they sell, this comes out to like $242, which is, yeah, it's pretty decent.
It is shockingly close to what you had before, except you swapped the character and you swapped the Terminators for an Emdred.
Yeah, so the old 8th, 9th edition one was a Librarian, a Nemesis Dread Knight, a group of 5 Terminators, and a group of 5 Strikes. So similar idea, but for this particular one, it was more of a let's make a box that you can get your Dread Knights for, essentially.
Yeah, I like the Tech Marine because like the Brotherhood Tech Marine is literally just a Space Marine Tech Marine. They're the same model.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of going with a theme to this box when it's like you could put the entire range in the box, which is basically what the 9th edition one was. So we might as well do something thematic for a box. And this one is like, let's go vehicles with double Dread Knights.
And since we've got the character and non-character Dread Knight, you can put 6 of them in a list, but like 4 is actually a completely reasonable list to play and has been for a while now.
2 editions.
Yeah. So like doubling up on this box, completely reasonable. Technically you could get 3, but probably wouldn't.
No, but like 2 of this box, a Librarian or 2, and like 3 boxes of Terminators is already like the range.
Yeah, that's basically the range. So the Grey Knight range is the Nemesis Dread Knights, the Strike Squads, which build into, you know, your Purgation, Interceptor, all of that.
Also known as the Strike Squads with different backpacks and weapons.
Yep.
And sometimes you paint the helmet white.
Ooh, and then it's a Purifier. And then the Terminators, which also build the Paladins. And like, yeah, we've got a Venerable Dreadnought and Land Raider, Rhino, all that stuff, but it's all a bunch of Space Marine stuff.
Yeah. The old stolen 25-year-old models don't count.
Yeah. So like, you really don't have that many units to pick and choose from. It's just you can show different ones on the box art to give different impressions, essentially. But a lot of things have this like, I don't know, sword of Damocles hanging over it of, man, it would be nice to see Grey Knights get a refresh because they'd only really have to do 2 boxes, the Strikes and the Terminators.
Luckily, since you're the Terminator faction, if there's ever a Terminator edition, you should be a shoo-in for a refresh that edition. It'd be stupid if they did Space Wolves instead.
Yeah, and I mean that like you would even like set it up so like, you know, you could get rid of some of the older models, kind of phase them out as you're introducing all of the new ones, but you wouldn't just like leave them phased out for a long time in between. No, that would definitely not happen, Kaldor Drago. But if GW were to be profit driven first and they knew that they were going to do a big refresh here and they wanted to get rid of their old shit stock, oh boy, they could make a Combat Patrol. They could go all in on that, man. Go with like Grandmaster Voldus, because like nobody really wants him. Could get 2 units of Terminators, a thing of Strikes, and a Rhino. And yeah, it ends up being like $257, 710 points. Man, it's great.
It's crazy to me that Voldus is your second newest model and is your oldest character.
Oh, don't be so mean.
Your faction is as forgotten as Drukhari and Demons.
That's sad. Yeah. So like it's the kind of thing that like that is a good box. It's good value. It gets you like everything that you would kind of want, you know, like your Terminators, your Strikes, a Rhino is actually pretty good, but they're all units that like please GW update them. So it would be the kind of box that'd be like, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Don't know if I can recommend anybody buying it. Whereas the Dread Knight one, we just got the sprue upgrade for the Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight. It's unlikely that we're going to get a full redesign for the Dread Knight, even if they do the Strikes and Terminators. So I feel like that would be a more likely recommend to pick up that Combat Patrol. And really, this is all just a little segment for me to complain. But now that my segment to complain is done, Brad, how about you get to complain?
All right, so I keep putting this one off, but I think it's time I do it. Another Demons Combat Patrol, this time Tzeentch.
Yeah.
So this was very easy for me to put together, and I'll explain why in a moment. Let's start off. We need a character character, we'll do the Change Caster, the most basic horror character.
Very popular.
And then we'll do a squad of 10 pink horrors. And then while we're here, let's add 10 blues as well, which add the brimstones. So this will look like a crazy amount of models.
Hell yeah.
And then we'll do 3 flamers, 3 screamers, and why not? Let's throw the burning chariot in because the Change Caster comes in that kit.
What do you mean the Change Caster comes in that kit? Because I thought the Change Caster was sold on its own.
This is a Nightmare Old World kit.
Okay.
The Change Caster on foot is literally a difference of, see like the blue flame under his feet?
Yeah.
That is like a base piece that's extra because he is part of the Burning Chariot kit. It can either be the Fate Skimmer where it's the same guy but he's on the chariot, and the Exalted Flamer is on foot then, and also you get 3 blue horrors.
Okay, I do remember that now. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about the Fate Skimmer.
Or you build it this way where he's on foot and the Exalted Flamer becomes the Burning Chariot.
Yeah.
Welcome to Old World kits.
I mean, that's not the worst. Like, it's not a massive build problem. It's just like, did you put this on top of the little disc thing?
Yeah. And you can mag them. I have one that's magged.
Yeah. So, like, there are more complicated and annoying ones, like the Torment Bringer or whatever.
Oh, yeah. We're not getting into the Slaanesh chariots. Oh, God.
Those are legitimately headache inducing. But, like, the Fate Skimmer Burning Chariot is not too bad. Honestly, it's good value to be able to have those options.
Okay. So, technically, what I've stated, if you're doing like model count, including the blues and the brims, is 38 models because there's 10 blue horrors, 20 brimstones, which are on 10 bases because it's 2 on a base.
Yeah.
10 pink horrors, 3 flamers, 3 screamers, the Burning Chariot, and the Change Caster. 38 models, technically.
All right. I mean, that's a lot of models.
That's a lot you can advertise on the box for sure.
I mean, you're not going to build a list with, you could, I guess, but like it's unlikely with most of the current rules to want all of that kind of without just taking advantage of how the blue, pink, and brimstone work.
Yeah. So from a gameplay standpoint, we just say it's pink horrors and the blues are in there literally for split again.
Yeah.
With the blues not in there, it's still 585 points.
Wow.
Like this is a solid combat patrol. And you may be asking, well, surely you blew the budget, Brad.
I mean, it has some potential to be quite expensive since you basically have an entire unit that's there just because, essentially.
So including the blues in the price here is only $234.
There's no way.
In a $170 box.
No way. Fact check that. What?
Because all the horrors are cheap kits. They're only $48.
Okay.
And basically everything in the Tzeentch range is like old style pricing. They are not scam prices like all the new stuff is. Because again, these all predate AOS's existence.
How much is the Fate Skimmer Chariot then? Because like that's giving you 200 points basically.
Yes. Price wise, it's a $60 kit. So it's almost a 4-to-1 ratio.
Wow. $60. I guess, I mean, it is an older one, but like it still looks good. Wow. Okay.
Now, you might think, well, this is unreasonable. There's no way they'd make this box ever.
The question then, I guess, is can it fit in a box? Standard combat patrol size?
Yes, and I have proof of that fact.
Really?
Because this is literally the Start Collecting Demons of Tzeentch box and 10 additional horrors, which are in a small box to begin with. Well, 20, but you get the point. The blue horrors are added in to the Demons of Tzeentch box. That's all this is the old Start Collecting Demons of Tzeentch and a box of blue horrors.
So even if like it was already pretty packed, they've done some of the boxes that are kind of like exploding at the seams a little bit.
Yeah.
They could do it. Yeah. Wow.
And I have this box in the basement because I bought 3 of them back in the day. And it is a normal, kind of thin looking combat patrol box size wise. But yeah, so to explain how expensive 40K has gotten, this box, minus the blue horrors, a $48 kit, was sold for $95 MSRP 1 edition ago. You could buy it at the beginning of 9th like that, through about a third of the way through 9th.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy. And like that's exceptional because I don't think any of these models have really hit too much of a price hike because they're all the old AOS stuff.
They're the old world stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's why like the Fate Skimmer Chariot's $60, the horrors are $48. They might have gotten 1 price hike, but like that's insane. I mean, even like this box would still be a good value for a combat patrol nowadays.
Yes, it would, which is sad because like this is something that you used to get for cheaper than the combat patrols.
Yeah, like a half the price.
Almost half the price of a current combat patrol, yeah, in the course of 4 years.
That's That's crazy.
Fun.
Yeah.
I love this.
I mean, the box is actually pretty good.
Yeah, look, the Demons of Tzeentch box, even back then, was a steal. It is a fantastic start to a Tzeentch demon army. I literally bought 3 of this back in the day.
I was just gonna say, you could actually buy 3. Like, 2 would be like, yeah, slam dunk, but like, legitimately 3 makes sense.
I bought 3 of this and 3 boxes of Blue Horrors, and that was the start to my Tzeentch, other than, obviously, my chickens. I now have a lot of chickens.
Yeah, which it's gonna be tough to put the chickens in this box. We could come up with something, maybe, I think.
Just for a joke, there was an AOS box recently that was this box plus a chicken. That was one of the Battleforces.
All right. Yeah, that's interesting. But I do know that you had another chaos list put together here. Let's talk about the World Eaters list. Because honestly, the current one is pretty good.
Yes, so that's the first thing I want to say. The current Combat Patrol is totally fine. The current Combat Patrol is a Demon Prince, Master of Execution, 10 Berserkers, and 10 Jackals. It is a totally vanilla Combat Patrol, nothing wrong with it, ship it.
Yeah, and it shows a good portion of World Eaters, which, to be fair, is still pretty anemic, but
it basically follows our rules. The 4th unit being an extra character is a little funky, but it's fine.
But like, it's got like centerpiece, it's got the rest of the units kind of going on. It's not bad.
So I wanted to do something a little more thematic's the wrong word, but like focused feeling. I want to focus on the fact that World Eaters are not just the melee guys, they're the big tanky melee guys. These guys are the bruisers.
Right, because like you could do Slaanesh for the like quick and fast melee, but World Eaters is more of the, getting in the brawl.
Yeah, and while, again, competitively Jackals are very good, they're cultists. They're not a draw.
They don't fit that expectation thematically of, really getting in the brawl and like sticking with like some defenses.
Yes. So I wanted to focus instead on World Eaters that felt more elite, like a 15 model box, really like show off the strength of them.
Okay.
So again, we'll start with 10 Berserkers. They're going to be the core of every World Eater box. There's only like 4 kits.
Yeah, you kind of have to have Berserkers.
And then 3 8-bound, be they exalted or normal, I don't care. Whatever looks better on the box. We will put them with a Slaughterbound. That'll be the character for the box, which the Demon Prince, sick model, but I feel like the Slaughterbound feels very thematic with the 8-bound here.
I feel for the theme that you're trying to go with, the 8-bound are like, that's what's showing off the theme, so have a character push it.
Exactly. And then to round it out, I just did a Hellbrute because while it's an embarrassment of how small it is, the Hellbrute is still going to be something that feels very cool and thematic in this list. It's barely bigger than an 8-bound, but that's fine. It's just more chonk.
You have to work with what we're given kind of thing, and the Hellbrute does fit thematic.
And you can build it like pure melee loadout on the box to make it look cool on the box with everything else, but then it also gives you the option to build it with, like it's got ranged options and stuff, which is not something that's common in World Eaters.
Yeah.
I like this box. It's 540 points, totally acceptable, $242.5. It's fine. There's nothing really wrong with the box. It is a low model count box. The Hellbrute is just a sad model, but that's okay. One day we'll get our Primera-sized Hellbrute that is the proper size.
Yeah, but like it's not too few models kind of thing. Like it shows off the more elite style of this army, which is fun. Yeah, I like it. And like it is actually pretty different from the Combat Patrol that we currently have access to, even with World Eaters being a pretty small faction at the moment. So
it's half a faction, let's be honest.
Yeah.
All right, one list left. This one was my crime of the episode.
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty great.
We had 2 varieties of Space Marines left to do. I either could do Blood Angels or Space Wolves, and when I looked at Blood Angels, I gagged a little bit because I saw the Sanguinary Guard, so I went with Space Wolves.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I was going to do a meme where I try to jam a ton of Dreadnoughts into a box together and have Murder Fang lead it. That was a little too much of a meme.
That's fun, but like I'm hoping that you did some type of tie-in with our new merch, the Okame Musume. Get it, poorhammer.com.
Well, in an upsetting way, yeah.
Let's go. What do you got?
So, first off, the current Space Wolves box that just came out is basically exactly what you would expect it to be. It is the range refresh and one unpopular old kit that shows off the range okay. So it's like the Wolfen are the odd one out because they're just so fucking hideous. What a shit kit. Anyway.
Tell us how you really feel. God damn.
So nothing's really wrong with that box. I just went with a different direction on it. I did a Wolf Priest, which is also the other new updated character who looks awesome and has the wolf skull helmet. 10 Grey Hunters again, because I mean, it's just the new jamming them in all the boxes for the foreseeable future here. And again, they can alt build, but whatever.
What is it? The Blood Claws?
Yeah, the Blood Claws is the other build. 3 Wolfguard head takers with their dogs, and then the new Kill Team Wolf Scouts with their dog. This way, it's all refreshed, new models that show off the range. I managed to get 4 dogs in there and a guy with a wolf head. I think it's a pretty good looking box that definitely screams wolves for Space Wolves.
A little bit, yeah.
That was my goal. I think I could have done better if I had just, instead of the Wolf Scouts, I could have for like almost the same price thrown like a Dread in here and just gotten away with a much more typical box you would expect to see.
But like at the same time, it would have been kind of less exciting for the individual that gets excited about this box.
Yeah, you're seeing where I'm going with this. So the box is $245 of value for 450 points. It's a little on the low end, but Wolf Scouts be like that.
It is shocking how low that is, but yeah. The Wolf Scouts are honestly pretty good for their points in the game at the moment.
Yeah. So there's no centerpiece in this. I mostly just wanted to show off the new beautiful refreshed wolf models. Is the box horribly obvious furry bait? Yes. You're welcome, target audience for Space Wolf players. I see you. Go buy our merch.
Basically. And I don't know, when it comes to the like unique Space Marines boxes, I think you're supposed to go all in on the theme. You can make a better box value or a better box from like balance aspects of the army, but like I think you have to hit the theme right or it just doesn't make any sense. Just go play Space Marines.
I prefer, if you're going to have a box, that you don't accidentally shoehorn it into only one sub faction. But since Space Wolves just got refreshed, and Space Wolves refresh is larger than Grey Knights in a range size. Eat shit, Eric. I think in this case, it should just be all Space Wolf exclusive models, and like you just go hard in it, and then maybe we look at just removing generic Space Marines from being able to be taken in Space Wolves, just to like make you feel what it's like to be Chaos for a change instead of having 180 data sheets.
Honestly, Space Wolves is getting to a point that wouldn't be that difficult. A couple small little holes, but like...
You just give them 2 generic vehicles at random, not like the 2 best correct vehicles, at random, and now you have Chaos.
Wow, yeah. Oh, man.
Why can I take only one of the 2 fiends in Emperor's Children? Fuck you, Timmy, that's why.
Because we forgot about other ones. We gave you back a couple of chariots. Quit complaining. Yeah, the Space Wolves Combat Patrol seems pretty good.
I'm not the target audience for it, but I was happy to make it for the target audience for it. You're welcome.
I think you could get a couple of these without too much problem. 3, technically, but maybe not.
No, 2 is probably your limit.
2 is probably the right choice.
I do think it's interesting that because of the range refresh, you technically don't have to add upgrade sprues for this one because they're all dedicated models.
Yeah, actually.
I just felt proud of that fact.
Which, I mean, we never really take into account the price of those things, so...
No, they have 0 worth. I don't care what they technically sell for. They are not part of the worth of a kit.
Yeah, I'm with you on it, but like at the same time, they sell them for a price. But yeah, that's cool to have really like such a focused possibility for a combat patrol. Yeah, the Space Wolves refresh was fantastic. Works out pretty well. So that kind of wraps up the combat patrols now. We've only got, like you said earlier, like 5 or 6 more.
Yes, and I'm actually kind of excited to do what we just said at the beginning as like half a joke, but like I really want to finish the series and then review like what they all look like against each other, which factions we did better on than others, how our opinions may have changed over the course of the series, and how the edition kept unfolding.
I'm looking forward to what you can figure out for Jakari, or if you're just gonna be like, Eric, do it so I don't rage.
No, I pushed it to next episode for a reason. We'll get there. It's the 9th edition box.
Nailed it.
I just brought it back.
Yeah.
Anyway, for now, we will call it there, though. That's everything we had for this episode. We shilled the merch a couple times. If you want, catch us over streaming on Twitch. Poor Hammer over there. Check out our Sully Singleton channel, which is where we're posting all the VODs from Twitch. Stay tuned for a funny ad read next week. I think the patrons actually did a pretty good job with it.
I don't know how well we did, but we'll see.
Or if it doesn't exist, they didn't accept it. So instead, it'll be an episode of me telling you how bad a video game is.
Yeah, sounds good.